So the government shutdown has reached or is about to reach record levels as far as how long the government has been shut down. I wanted to cover really quickly kind of what's going on in the market, how the government shutdown is sort of affecting what we do in the mortgage industry and especially mortgage rates. Also, I wanted to go over a little bit of information regarding listings and how many listings are available because that makes a difference when buyers are on the market looking for homes. If there aren't listings available, then they end up paying too much for the homes, and there's also just not a lot available if that happens for them to look at and things like that. That has improved over the last couple of years, so I wanted to go over that in a little bit of detail. I'll try to make this a pretty short message here. I call this my Big Monday message. So anyway, I'm going to get into this really quickly here, but one thing that's happened due to the government shutdown is that there are a lot of the reports that are relied upon to impact the mortgage rates have not been coming out. And so this Wednesday, which will be the 5th, November the 5th, we're going to have an ADP report, which will come out. And that's ADP is a jobs report basically. And so it's not the main jobs report that the Fed sort of relies on, but it is an important one. And because the other reports aren't coming out, it's going to be very important this time. I think if the ADP numbers come in the way we think they will, which we think they're going to be very negative as far as the job market and unemployment rate and things like that, if that happens, then I think we're going to see a dip in the mortgage rates on Wednesday through Friday. So that's kind of what we're expecting there. Once the government ends the shutdown, then what will happen is a lot of these old reports that didn't come out, they will come out, but it's going to take them a while because the way the process works is, they won't come out immediately because they have to actually gather the data. That's a part of the process. And then once they gather the data, then they come out with the report. And so they haven't been able to gather the data while the government's been shut down either. So it might take them a week or two to get out reports that are already past due. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. The other thing I wanted to go over is listings and their availability. I'm going to share a screen with you because I have a subscription with MBS Highway. They get into this a little bit and they cover it better than I could on my own. So I'd rather just share the screen and kind of go over that with what they talk about here, and then I'll pause it after they do their part. So I'm gonna go ahead and share that screen. Should be coming up right now, and there it is. And so I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and Megan gets into a lot of this data and what it means.
While we wait for that, we are getting some news. Realtor.com did come out with active listings. Let's take a peek. Currently, we're at a level of 1.1 million. You'll notice that this has flattened out. This is a seasonal trend. But if we take a look at pre-pandemic levels here, well, we are lower than that, 9% lower. And meanwhile, at the same time, our population has grown by over 12 million. And we currently know that builders have also pulled back on adding new supply. So while inventory might get tighter, that would be a strong point for home appreciation. But we want to know what the housing market is like in your area.
So anyway, that's what I wanted to cover there. Kind of briefly there because I think that's important when you look at it from 2022 to 2025. Our inventory has been increasing every year at the same period of time in the year, but we're still below pre-pandemic levels and the population has increased. So that basically means that there's still, for the amount of people we have, there are a lot less homes available than there were prior to the pandemic, but there are more homes available over the past 3 years every year. So it's getting back to where we want it to be. Part of the problem, though, like she talked about, is that builders are not building as much as they were prior to the pandemic, and that's partially because of a lot of the materials used for builders, a lot of materials they use to build homes has gone up a lot, and so it's like one of the things that I do is I get insurance quotes for my customers, and a lot of times the insurance quotes will show a cost to rebuild a home that's $100,000 or $200,000 more than the home's worth, which is kind of crazy. But that's because of materials being so much more expensive. Now, I do have one right now that I'm working on that's supposed to close this Friday. it's a new construction, and the appraisal came in. I think it was about I think the appraisal came in like $25,000 over the purchase price or something like that. So we are seeing some builders who are managed to navigate this. One thing that you'll notice is a lot of the homes being built are no longer being built as all brick homes. They're building them with either a brick front and then the rest of it's siding, or they're putting a little bit of brick in it, but it's mostly siding, things like that. They're trying, builders are trying to figure out ways to cut costs because of how much materials have gone up. There's also more prefabricated home type building going on. I don't know if you've heard of things like Lego homes and stuff like that, where where they will piece a home together, sort of pre-configured, and they piece it together with blocks. And they can build them in like a month, and they're very sturdy homes, but they're not custom at all, right? So anyway, there's more of that going on because those types of homes have become cheaper to build than a normal stick built home, building it from the ground up. So the builders are just trying. The other part of it too is that the Lego homes will actually withstand. We have a lot more. We have a lot more. High winds and stuff going on, and a lot more natural disaster type stuff happening. And so these types of homes are better at withstanding that sort of thing and being able to withstand the high winds and stuff like that. So you're seeing a lot more of those types of homes being built for multiple reasons, and that could sort of make up for the custom builders not building as much. So we'll just have to see how that works out over the next couple of years. That's what I wanted to cover here really briefly. If you want to get started and purchasing a home, now is a very good time because rates are at the lowest point they've been in the last couple of years. And we have several lenders who are running specials right now, end of year specials, because a lot of times during the holidays, you'll see the market really drop. So they run these year end specials on the pricing to try and get more people to either refinance or purchase so they can do more business during these slower times. So there's a lot of that going on right now. If you'd like more information, you want to do a loan application, let me know. Just feel free to send me a message, and we'll get started on it. Appreciate it. Thanks.